I just got home straight from work. Straight from work. I decided to drink a little bit, but also talk about today's game, the Morocco versus Nigeria game. First of all, Morocco, the whole entire tournament, there's been one talk when it comes to Morocco, and that is the referee. Every team before meeting Morocco, check the news. The first thing that the opponents talk about is we do not want this referee. Remember Cameroon? They say we don't want this referee. We want that other referee. We don't want this referee, we want the other referee. Now give me a second. We're back to talk about it. I gotta talk about Zambia too. The reason why Zambia failed at AFCON, you definitely will not believe it. Give me a second. I gotta wash my plates. At the same time, I think I can talk and wash my plates. I hate touching nasty shit. But anyway, nobody's watching it. Okay. So, the Morocco Nigeria game, Morocco hasn't been winning games mainly because they're good. Morocco has got, how Barcelona, or how Barcelona always complains when it comes to Real Madrid, saying Real Madrid plays with, referees. It's the same way most African nations are complaining about Morocco. Morocco is playing with the referee. You're playing against Morocco. You're playing against Moroccan players plus the referee and the fans. Okay. Nigeria kept on receiving yellow cards in that game, and you're like, that tackle. Why did the Moroccan player get a yellow card? Well, it's one simple reason. For those that know a lot about football, is that once you get a yellow card, automatically it puts fear in you. Why? Because you have to be cautious now. You have to be cautious. Any slight mistake, you get a red card. The game flips, it goes all the way to Morocco because they have one man up because you guys have a red card. So the referee knows that if I give these guys a yellow card, they will be cautious. If it's a left wing back or a right wing back, that means they will not overlap because of fear of saying, if they attack, I might be forced into making a challenge, a reckless challenge, and I might get a red card. So Morocco keeps playing with referees. Regardless of the penalties, it went all the way to the penalties, and Morocco won. Congratulations, but I feel like they do not deserve to be there. That's just my opinion as a Zambian. Nigeria, unfortunately, Nigeria kinda, they kinda disappointed us. This is not the same Nigeria that played last game. This was a totally different Nigeria. I drink a little bit because I'm a little bit pissed about this game. Personally, I was hoping the AFCON final would be Senegal versus Nigeria. I do like Morocco, but I just don't. Morocco is different from Egypt. The Egyptians, they always feel like they're Africans. Morocco, no, they always feel like they're Europeans, not Africans. That's why majority of like black Africans, majority of them don't support Morocco. Even at the World Cup, last World Cup, when they reached further to the semifinals, they said we did it for the Arab nations. But anyway, back to AFCON. Uh, Morocco do not deserve that. What can we learn from Morocco, though? We can learn that they invested so much money. It was one of the best AFCONs when it comes to stadiums and equipment. It was one of the best. They've invested so much money in that. That's one thing we can learn from Morocco. But now let's go back to Zambia. Zambia, this is where Zambia messed up when it comes to that AFCON. Just when Zambia was arriving, if you looked at players like Patson Daka, Frank Musonda, and the rest of the team, Luambo Musonda, the picture that the Zambian FA posted to show that Zambia has arrived at AFCON, you could see Patson hiding, you could see Luambo hiding, you could see Frank hiding. I'm asking myself, why the heck these guys are hiding? What are they hiding from? Well, one thing, if you look at how Senegal arrived, Mane has got friends, mind you. Patson has got friends. Everybody else got friends. So when Senegal arrived, it was all over the news. Look at how well dressed Senegal is. Just that right there puts confidence in the players. Look at how Nigeria is dressed. The best dressed team, Senegal, Mali. Now it comes to Zambia. Zambia goes there with the other players putting on shorts for 2022. The other one is putting on shorts for 2023. The other one putting on a t-shirt with an MTN. The other one is putting on a hoodie with. It was chaos. Okay, it was chaos. News broke out that the Zambian FA actually last minute sent one of their people to go and buy jerseys in China. And that person actually came late to Morocco. Okay, so Zambia didn't have training kit. If you check how Zambia was training, it didn't have training kit. They put on MTN. It's a mess. They were putting on MTN t-shirts and hoodies for a national team. Whenever Zambia is playing, or whenever it gets to like halftime, it's a shame that the first person that talks when the game ends, it's not the Zambian coach. It's always the Zambian FA motivating the players, talking to the players. I ask myself, when is the part where the coach, the captain, sits down and speaks to his friends? Guys, this is where we messed up. Guys, this is where we messed up. This is where we have to work hard on. This is what we have to do, blah, blah, blah. Or congratulations, guys. Where is that? Where the team sits down and speak to each other. We don't have that. We have an FA that does not have anyone in charge of jerseys. We have a Zambia FA that does, not talk about. I mean, every nation talks about bonuses. Mind you, the Nigerian captain, Ndidi, is Ndidi. He actually offered his friends money to. He offered his friends money. For those that, just in case you're coming in right now, I'm talking about the AFCON, the game that just ended, Morocco game. And I talked a little bit about how, Nigeria, they did not just lose because, Nigeria is not a good team. They lost somehow. Morocco, all this AFCON have been playing with a referee. This whole entire AFCON, they've been playing with a referee. I would say Morocco is 70% good, 30% referee. Okay, so um, I kept on talking about how the Zambian FA can actually learn from everybody else. They can learn from Nigerians. They can learn from Mali. They can learn from everybody. All these countries. How do they do it? How right now we have AFCON going on in March. We will definitely have the WAFCON, the women's AFCON, and we already have enough time to actually prepare. When I say we, I'm talking about Zambia. They have enough time to prepare. What do I mean? They have enough time to buy jerseys. They have enough time to do everything. Okay, they have enough time to look for money to motivate the players. Okay, they can get black suits for women. Mind you, you see, whatever it is that I say right now might happen. Zambia women national team will go to WAFCON with men's jerseys. The jerseys will be big, big ones for men. You see how useless the Zambian FA is. So they can actually prepare right now. Buy those girls, put on the Victoria Falls, advertise it, free advertisement. At the back, put on a woman with a crown, copper queens. Simple. Those girls, when they go to that WAFCON, they'll be motivated. Everybody will be talking about, look at how the copper queens are dressed. Even them, when they go on the internet, they'll be like, shit, we nailed it. You know, we just didn't dress this way. Okay. We just didn't dress this way. We will make sure that we actually perform the same exact way that we dressed. But no, no, no. The Zambian FA cannot do that. Those girls will come in with big baggy jerseys. Okay. They'll be, it was a shame to see that every time, unlike, Zambia, look at Senegal. As soon as the game ended, there was zero FA people surrounding the team making all kinds of statements. It's like whenever there's a tournament in Zambia, that's when you see all these people going. It's like they gotta get paid. By the way, you gotta get paid. Bonuses for being an AFCON, bonuses for this. We had the first vice president in Morocco. We had the first president in Morocco. We had people like Kalusha in Morocco. We had everyone, the permanent secretary in Morocco. So when the game ends, Zambia's permanent secretary has to make a statement. The Zambia FA president has to make a statement. The Zambia um, uh, vice president has to make a statement. Everybody has to make a statement. It does not help us at all. At all. The system where the team fails today, okay, it fails not mainly because, mind you, the same exact teams that we've been playing at AFCON in terms of Zambia, Ivory Coast, we topped the group where Ivory Coast was to qualify. It tells you we're capable of beating these teams. Okay? We're capable of beating these teams, but because we do not prepare. Okay? We do not prepare. Zambia released a full list of players that are going to AFCON. Then the next day, they bring in these players. And you're wondering, who's calling the shots? How does Zambia go to AFCON with players that are playing in the local league? For example, how does the Zambian coach bench a player playing in Serie A? Okay, he's not playing, he's on the bench in Serie A, but instead opts to play a young player playing in the Zambian Premier League. Mind you, the Zambian Premier League it's not even in the top 10 in Africa. So we're playing a person that's playing mediocre football in Zambia, chipante pante, boom, 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 boom. Then we take them to AFCON to go and play against, people like Mane and others. We cannot win like that. But It's very, very disappointing. You know, very disappointing. But all in all, I did want Morocco to lose. Like I said, Morocco always plays with referees. They um they play good football, but they're always assisted. 70% of Moroccan football is by the players, 30% is done by the referees. Like I said, the example that I gave was, you know, yellow cards that kept on happening in the game. That right there, it destabilizes the opponents. They become scared. They don't want to make mistakes. They defend differently from how they were defending. You know, that those small little things, you, a referee doesn't have to actually give you guys a penalty all the time. Just by doing that helps the opponents. But congratulations to Morocco for actually qualifying. The next AFCON, we need to try and do much more better as Zambia, as a nation, because it was terrible. Okay, I've never seen, from the time I started watching football, I've never seen Zambia be so terrible at AFCON. The jerseys themselves were terrible. Not the actual design, but the fact that, you know, Zambia had three different jerseys at AFCON. Three. Right before AFCON, you know, we have a new captain, first of all. Right before AFCON, we have a new captain. We go to AFCON, we play a team that never even played in the qualifiers. We played a team that played at COSAFA. Some of you do not know what COSAFA is. It's a small tournament, okay? A tournament that's smaller than AFCON, that usually local best players, you know, are assembled. They're taken to that tournament in order to create, you know, hopefully they can move up to the main national team. Zambia picked 6 players from that team and have them play at AFCON. Majority of those players are playing in local leagues. Nothing wrong with Zambian Premier League, okay? Nothing wrong with Zambian football, but it's not as advanced compared to the South African League, the Egyptian League. When we won the AFCON 2012, we did have a couple players from the Zambian Premier League, Sinkara in the midfield. We did do good, but it wasn't majority. Okay, we had players in Europe, we had players in South Africa, we had players everywhere, and they played together for a long period of time. So I would not blame Patson, people like Patson and other people at that AFCON. I certainly, I 100% blame, I 100% blame the Zambian FA. Without those mistakes that they kept on making, Zambia probably would have not really progressed to the semifinals, not to the quarterfinals, but at least somewhere done something. The whole AFCON that Zambia played, they had 3 shots on target. Go check. The whole AFCON, 3 shots on target. That is not the player. It's motivation. Immediately after Zambia is kicked out of AFCON, Lamek Banda goes and scores. Uh, Kennedy Msonda goes and scores. Kings Kango goes and scores. Liteta, that boy, goes straight into the squad in Serie A against Juventus. Patson Daka goes and scores. And you ask yourself, like, why didn't these guys even shoot on target? Zero motivation. Zero motivation. Next time we're going to AFCON, make sure the jerseys are right. Okay? Next time we're going to AFCON, the girls especially, we're going to WAFCON with the females. When the females go to WAFCON, next time make sure they have the kit organized. That way, those girls don't feel shy. Take pictures. You know, that way they're proud. That way when they're playing with pride. I'm playing for Zambia. You know, we want to show them we're here at AFCON, WAFCON, wherever it is. But all in all, thank you guys for watching this. I hope the finals, Senegal versus Morocco. I hope Senegal wins. I am 100% supporting Senegal because I wished we had um, Senegal versus Nigeria. Like I said in the beginning, nothing wrong with Morocco, but I just hate the fact that whenever they win something, it's got nothing to do with Africa. Whenever they win, they say, it's got something to do with the Arab nation. I was only happy on one point, the Arab League, whatever it is, that tournament that they won, Morocco, they just won. They won that with a different team. So kind of showed respect to AFCON. But the AFCON final, Senegal, Morocco, it's going to be 2-1 to Senegal. You, you know what? I can cut this live, or I can leave it and we can chit chat. You guys say something. I cannot see the comments. How do I see the comments? Is there any comments? Talk to me. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what you think about today's game, the Morocco versus Nigeria. Tell me what country you're coming from and what you think about AFCON. We'll continue cleaning this shit. Well, you know what? I gotta go. 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 How do I end this live? Let's try click here. Try and click here.